Welcome to HowToWisdom. In this video, I am going to show you how coronavirus looks in human body. So, keep watching this video until the end. Coronaviruses are divided into 4 groups called genera: Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta. These little invaders are zoonotic, meaning they can spread between animals and humans. Gamma and Delta coronaviruses mostly infect birds, while Alpha and Beta mostly reside in mammals. Researchers first isolated human coronaviruses in the 1960s, and for a long time, they were considered pretty mild. Mostly, if you got a coronavirus, you would end up with a cold. But the most famous coronaviruses are the ones that jumped from animals to humans. Coronaviruses are made up of one strip of RNA, and the genetic material is surrounded by a membrane studded with little spike proteins. Under a microscope, those proteins stick up in a ring around the top of the virus, giving it its name. Corona is Latin for the crown. When the virus gets into the body, those spike proteins attach to host cells, and the virus injects that RNA into the cell's nucleus, hijacking the replication machinery to make more viruses. How did this coronavirus spread to humans? Coronavirus appeared in Wuhan, a city in China, in December 2019. Although health officials are still tracing the exact source of this new coronavirus, early hypotheses thought it may be linked to a seafood market in Wuhan, China. Some people who visited the market developed viral pneumonia caused by the new coronavirus. A study that came out on March 14, 2020 notes that the individual with the first reported case became ill on December 1, 2019, and had no link to the seafood market. Investigations are ongoing as to how this virus originated and spread. Could the outbreak grow bigger? It is impossible to say which way the disease will go, but, on its current trajectory, it is likely to spread to more countries, affecting many more people. The number of cases is beginning to decrease in China, but is climbing in the rest of the world. To find out more about what is likely to happen. How coronavirus diagnosed? Diagnosis may be difficult with only a physical exam, because mild cases of coronavirus may appear similar to the flu or a bad cold. A laboratory test can do accurately. What is the incubation period for coronavirus? It appears that symptoms are showing up in humans within 14 days of exposure to the virus. What are the particular symptoms of coronavirus? In the confirmed cases so far, most people get a fever with a dry cough. Smaller numbers of folks might experience shortness of breath, a sore throat, or a headache. In rare cases, coronavirus can lead to severe respiratory problems, kidney failure, or death. If you have a fever or any kind of respiratory difficulties such as coughing or shortness of breath, call your local doctor or a local health care provider, and explain your symptoms over the phone before going to the doctor's office, urgent care facility, or emergency room. Over the phone, be sure to tell them if you have traveled outside the country in the last 14 days, particularly these listed countries affected by a coronavirus. Also be sure to tell them if you suspect you have been close within 7 feet of someone who has coronavirus for an extended period. Your healthcare provider or the emergency room team will recommend further steps. If you have a medical emergency, call right now and let them know about your symptoms and recent travel history. Is coronavirus more deadly than the flu? According to preliminary estimates from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the 2019 to 2020 flu caused 19 million to 25 million illnesses and up to 25,000 deaths. The coronavirus numbers are harder to calculate because it's not yet clear how many people are infected. The CDC calculates the death rate at about 2%, which is higher than the flu. But the real number might be a lot lower, because less severe cases may not have been reported. People with more mild cases might not even go to the hospital, and healthcare workers might have mistaken cases for the flu or for pneumonia. If epidemiologists count only the most severe cases, the death rate will look higher because a higher proportion of those patients die. So that might not offer an accurate reflection of reality. The biggest difference between the two types of infection is that the health system is better prepared to fight with flu. It comes every year, and, while some strains are more severe than others, doctors know how to treat and prevent it. Coronavirus is uncharted territory because scientists have so many questions about how it spreads and there isn't a vaccine for it. That's why governments around the world are responding so quickly by discouraging travel to China and quarantining people who may have been exposed. The World Health Organization hasn't officially called a pandemic. It's probably waiting to see if the sustained person-to-person transmission happens outside of China. It's looking at Iran, Italy, and South Korea for that. The severity of that infection depends on a couple of factors. One is what part of the body the virus tends to latch onto. Less serious types of coronavirus, like the ones that cause the common cold, tend to attach to cells higher up in the respiratory tract, places like your nose or throat. But their more gnarly relatives attach in the lungs and bronchial tubes, causing more serious infections. The other thing that contributes to the severity of the infection is the proteins the virus produces. Different genes mean different proteins. More virulent coronaviruses may have spike proteins that are better at latching onto human cells. Some coronaviruses produce proteins that can fend off the immune system, and when patients have to mount even larger immune responses, they get sicker. Is there anything I should be doing to prepare? Yes, there are plenty of basic precautions you can take to protect yourself against catching respiratory viruses of this type. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. You get the point. Cover coughs and sneezes with a tissue, then throw the tissue in the trash. Avoid touching your eyes, nose or mouth with unwashed hands. Clean and disinfect surfaces and objects people frequently touch. Stay home when you are sick. Is there a cure for the coronavirus? There is no specific treatment, although doctors are trialing existing drugs for viruses such as Ebola and HIV. Early results seem promising, but, until full clinical trials have been concluded, doctors cannot be certain that the drugs are effective. Should you cancel your travel plans? The Foreign Office warns against travel to China. The Telegraph travel team has in-depth advice here on both the countries affected and your rights if you cancel your travel. British travellers picked up the disease from a fellow tourist in a French ski resort earlier this month, but all have recovered and been discharged from hospital. Tourists have also been trapped in a Tenerife hotel after an Italian guest tested positive for the disease. Passengers on the Diamond Princess cruise ship were quarantined for several weeks. The latest news on 11th of March just confirmed. All visas and flights are cancelled and suspended till the 15th of April. If you found this video helpful, be sure don't forget to like this video and share with your friends. Also subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching this video.